Yo, in today's video, we'll be looking at creepy and bizarre TikToks that will make you question reality.
This is just a simulation, and right now this matrix is going through a purge, and that's why you are seeing some of the darkest stuff happening all around this matrix right now. And yes, there is going to be some more events that could bring a little bit more darkness into this matrix, and this is what the elites are trying to do, because they know that this matrix that we live in is not going to be, they're not going to be in control of it for too much longer. So that's why you're seeing these wars and seeing a lot of just dark shit going on right now. But a lot of people are focusing too much on the negative stuff that's happening and too much on just illusions that are all around you, all distractions. And you should do what I'm trying to do and just balance out your energy right now in these dark times and spend time with your family. Like, this is what I've been doing, and it's really balancing me out right now, because if you focus too much on the negative stuff that's happening all around this matrix, or on just stupid distractions, which is like celebrities and all that stuff, then you aren't going to be able to grow and your vibration is just going to stay down here. You need to keep trying to raise your vibration every day, even through the dark times. So yeah, if anyone watching this video is going through those dark times and feels like they're on a low vibration, just shoot a message to me. You can message me through here or my Instagram, and yeah, I can just be a friend to you and just help you through these times.
Hey, big ups to I Am Daniel. I think that's what his TikTok name is. You know, he's taking the responsibility to help others. You know, he said if you guys are going through something, hit him up. So y'all go ahead and go over to I Am Daniel's page, subscribe to his channel first off, and if you need some help, hit him up. Chupacabra? What?
Demographic of the entire population. We decide everything, from what clothes are in style to what slang is in vogue. This is the epicenter of all trends. We turn your world into one giant TV commercial. But how, you may ask, can our operation be so effective? Sure, these kids have brains like Play-Doh, just waiting to be molded into shape, but something else must be going on, right?
To put this in perspective, this movie came out in 2001 and now it's the year 2023. Do you feel like this movie is more and more relevant today or still just a bunch of nonsense? What do you think? TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.
To answer some of your questions, We've produced a short educational film.
I'm here to talk about subliminal messages in rock and roll music. You see, for years, the government has been wisely coercing teenagers to buy products they normally wouldn't want just to get their money. Fact, they don't pay taxes. But these kids today aren't dumb. They're not going to buy just anything. That's why the government has been planting small subliminal advertising suggestions in today's rock music. The results? We can now get these kids to buy just about...
Look, this is in '01, right? Like, they're past that stuff now. Like, it ain't nothing to do with music anymore. I feel like it's your cell phones, it's YouTube, it's apps, it's everything, you know? Like, they definitely targeting their children. Man, I had my son watching YouTube the other day, right? And it's some kid stuff on YouTube. Man, an ad came on. Why? The ad was over 2 hours long. And it was nothing to do with kid stuff. You know, it's like, imagine if, you know, you don't really watch with your kids or something like that, and then the ad comes on that's that long, and it's an adult ad about something, and now your kids are exposed to that early on. So you got to watch what you watch. But yeah, I think we're past the whole music stage. This was, man, a long time ago, though.
Anything. We can have them chasing a new trend every week, and that is good for the economy.
How can you control the rock bands? What if they find out about the hidden messages in their music?
Ever wonder why so many rock stars, the plane crashes, overdose on... We've been doing this a long time. If they start to get too curious, our options are endless. Bankruptcy, shocking scandals, religious conversions.
Wow, that's literally life.
Here is some information that the government is trying to hide from you. So no need for your school textbooks, because they don't put the information that we need in those books anyway. All you have TikTok for my safety only. All of my videos are scripted, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Enjoy. Did you know that every human on this earth has a percentage of black DNA inside of them? You may be sitting there and asking me how through the screen. Well, let me break it down for you. Even though this map right here is not really how the world looks, I'm going to use it as an example. Before all the races were brought upon, black carbonated beings like me were the only people on this earth. Black carbonated people were indigenous to all land, and then that resulted into us making all these new people around the world. But it was only one race that black carbonated beings like me did not create, and those people are the white Americans. This is Yakub. Don't even get me started with this cauliflower head nigga right here. Nah, but in all seriousness, Yakub was a black carbonated brother just like me. But you want to know what the difference is between me and Yakub? He hates his own black carbonated people, but I don't. And Yakub hating his own people resulted into him making the white race.
How many brothers do we know nowadays that hate their own people? Brothers and sisters. They definitely be hating their own people. It's crazy how much you'll see a person can hate their own kind until you look at, you know, our kind. And man, that it's scary because, you know, if the whole story with Yakub is true, right, and you create a whole new race because you hate your race, you know, imagine what people are doing now. Man, it's like the movie They Clone Tyrone, right? At the end of the movie, sorry guys, this is a spoiler, but the main guy, the guy that created the science for all of that and was cloning people was a black man. You know, he was the original Tyrone. So he was trying, and his goal was to change all black people, to make them lighter and lighter and lighter each time that they're cloned, to where they don't know that they're black anymore. It's similar to this story in all type of ways.
And the reason why Yakub created the white race was for them to completely take over the planet. And you might be curious on how white people were created by Yakub. Yakub got a mixture of black DNA, and he got a mixture of animal DNA, and that's how you white Americans were brought upon. And that's how white people's hair grows straight like most animals. And that's also why the white Americans have the small thin lips like monkeys, because y'all share genetics with monkeys. That's why white people made the cartoons with the big lip monkeys and the watermelons and stuff, because they completely flipped the psychology and the science and fooled us black people into believing that we are the monkey. But we all know that monkeys really don't look like this. Well, at least the smart people do. And the way the white people took the power from carbonated beings was by turning them into slaves. They took all of the carbonated people's resources, and they took all of our creations, and that resulted into black carbonated beings getting left with nothing. So then they proceeded to make us work in poor conditions for hours and hours and hours. And guess what? All of the profit that was made off of slavery, the white Americans took like 99.9% of it, and gave all of the carbonated black beans that were working for hours and hours 0.1. So basically, the slaves were making chump change. They weren't making nothing. Like and comment for more information that the government is trying to hide from you.
Right, like imagine this, right? Imagine, they make you a slave, right? But you don't know that they're gonna make you a slave. Say for instance, they tell you it's going to be a contract, right? You're gonna work, we're gonna supply you with some stuff, it's going to be an even exchange. Now, like he said, they took 99.9% of the profit, right? It's crazy, right? When you create the money that is profiting off of the business, right? The indigenous people probably had no idea what this money is, US dollar or whatever it is at the time. They don't know because it's not their form of currency. So you can create a whole business, you're getting rich off of it, and you could tell them like, "Oh, we ain't making that much money," because you don't even know what the money is. And then next thing you know, they building all these infrastructure and all this other stuff, and you like, wait a minute, where all this come from? And now the ones in power, and they literally just took it from right up under you because you didn't know what was going on. Man, you got to read this stuff, man. The Bible is like a science book. In all honesty, like you can find a lot of Bible references are about our body and doing certain things to release that Christ energy.
Fans are saying that this is the most demonic concert they have ever attended. Before I show you actual footage of Rima's concert, this is the trailer that he dropped before the concert started. He jumps into a portal of fire and then onto a horse. The trailer fades, then the intro of the concert begins and a black cage is lifted off of him. Members in the audience were so shocked that they started to record saying, "I was genuinely scared for my life." This woman said that it felt like he was doing a ritual, and I don't blame her. The way the dancers were dancing, he was screaming and speaking words that no one could understand. I'll play you the noises he was making at the end, but he then starts to get on this demonic looking bat. The visuals then started to show demonic looking figures and skeletons and bodies burning. You have to realize this concert is very dark and the only color it's flashing is red. With all of this dark symbolism, everyone said that they felt extremely drained.
Yo, what I said earlier about them not using the music, okay, I take that back. They still using the music, but just in other ways, right? It's not all about ads and stuff with the music. It's about, your energy. And a lot of the music nowadays is demonic. It's very, very demonic. And I think that's what they're going to use is to switch, those things. Man, there's so much you can do with music because of their frequencies and the things that they can put on music behind, like silent sounds that you won't even know that are playing, and now you in a certain mood because you listen to that song.
Why Prince, the famous rock star that was a friend of mine, do you know why he called himself the artist when he came back? He calls himself the artist because that's what they call us in our contracts. Oh, these contracts are crazy. You should hear the terminology they say in these contracts. To use your name and likeness in perpetuity throughout the universe. Who the fuck could possibly know what that means?
Think about that. That's in a contract, right? A contract for a comedian or for a musician to use your name and likeliness throughout the universe. Why would you even have to say that? Why? That's crazy that's in a contract.
Nobody does. It's so complicated, in fact, that when you're a kid like me, you have to hire somebody to tell you what that means. And you sit down at a table and you do the contract game. And that's how I got with Comedy Central. I signed the contract. But I signed the contract the way that a 28-year-old expectant father that was broke signs a contract. I was desperate. I needed a way out. And it wasn't good money and it wasn't good circumstances. But What else am I going to do, I said. And all these white people sitting at that table told me, trust us, Dave, it's a good contract. And I looked around the table and they all seemed to agree it was a good contract. But what if it was like that game of three-card Monte? What if they were all friends and I didn't know it? This fucking industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too bitches was trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it fucks. And I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. I'm up here doing something that nobody else in this business has the balls to do. I'm telling you something that you need to know. I'm trying to explain to you what you're seeing. You don't understand what you're seeing. I am publicly flogging a network. And I know that this network niggas, they watching me and they saying, why are you doing this so publicly? Doesn't feel good to be flogged publicly. Oh, believe me, I know. I know exactly how that feels. When I quit my show, they said I was crazy. What was crazy about it? I just didn't want to do it anymore. They said I smoked crack.
Yo, do y'all remember that, right? When Dave Chappelle left and they was like, man, this shit, like, I was a Dave Chappelle fan of the show, 100%. I used to watch that stuff all the time. And then when they said, like, it was done and all this other stuff was coming out, then they started trying to drag the man's name through the mud. I'm like, ain't no way Dave crazy. Dave done just said, I'm done with this, man. Y'all tripping. And that's what I took from it back then. I knew he wasn't crazy, but, man, like what they said at the very beginning, I think it was the first video, one of the first videos we just watched, how, you know, when people start asking too many questions, guess what we do? We can do all this other stuff to them, you know. It's all these scandals and stuff that we can throw on them. And that's what they were trying to do with Dave.
Possible. I was a devout Muslim. I didn't smoke or drink. But I do now, bitch, because you ruined my fucking life. Now it's their turn. This is their first nigga lesson, and I'm honored to give it to them.
Shout out to Dave.
Though there are no limitations, there is endless space, an endless universe. Now, in the 21st century, we're not allowed to do that. Anyone who looks up and sees the giant grids and the X's in the sky that weren't part of our existence until just a decade or two ago is somehow called a kook. And the people that are the best and biggest proponents for the revolution and for liberty, they don't want you to talk about it because you could discredit them.
It seems to be an industry that's being built up to milk the taxpayers by undergoing some kind of a giant global spraying program to make all kinds of money on the project. And they don't seem to care really what effect it has. They're not trying to experiment to see if humans can survive it or anything like that. They just want to get this stuff up. And then we discover, as we're going further down the line, that there are companies generating genetically modified organisms, seeds, modified seed crops that they're being engineered to resist the aluminum in the soil. A lot of crops won't grow in that. And so now, after they've messed up the soil, all the farmers were going to have to go back and buy seeds that have been genetically engineered to resist the aluminum that have been put into the soil. And all of a sudden...
That's crazy. They got seeds that genetically can resist aluminum in the soil that they didn't spray it over the whole world. And those same seeds can't produce any more seeds. So you have to constantly go back and buy the seeds from the people. So everything's GMO. Everything is GMO.
Kind is completely dependent upon these companies like Monsanto and other giant agricultural firms. You can't even grow natural seeds anymore. And we're looking at that. It's a shocking thing. I hope we don't find that that's true. But all the arrows right now are pointing in that direction.
That's crazy, man. Everything is GMO. Ain't nothing natural in this world anymore.
This here represents the surface of life. Surface. And we see surfaces, you know, surfaces. And about 300 years ago, scientists, they started wondering, what was this wood, and what was this metal, and what was it really? So they start looking into matter. So this side is matter, and this side is mind. Mind and matter. And the scientists, well, they discovered molecules. Deeper they went, and they discovered these atoms. And like I say, they thought that was the smallest particle for a long time. All these things we learn about in school. They went deeper, and they find inside the atoms these little electrons and neutrons and protons. And they went deeper and deeper and deeper, smaller and smaller particles, smaller and smaller particles. They found 4 forces. On a deeper level, the 4 became 3. And on a deeper level, the 3 became 2. And then, about 30 years ago, modern science, quantum physics, discovered the unified field. The unity of all the particles and all the forces of matter, of creation. Not only did they discover the unified field, but they found that everything that is a thing emerges from this field of no thing. Unmanifest it is. Unmanifest. It is no hyphen thing, but all things come from it. Anything that is a thing has emerged from this field of unity. It's oneness. The scientists know this exists, but if they wanted to get there, you can't get there. It's unmanifest. You can't walk into this field. But any one of those scientists could practice a technique, transcendental meditation, which, remember, true happiness is not out there. You're given a mantra, a very specific sound, vibration, thought. Very specific. It needs to be life-supporting at all deeper levels. And that mantra that you're given gives the key that opens the door. The mantra turns the mind within, turns the awareness within, and you naturally dive. Why is it natural? Because each deeper level of mind and each deeper level of intellect has more happiness. And the deeper levels of mind and deeper levels of intellect correspond to deeper levels of matter. At the borderline of intellect, you transcend. Transcend is the key word. It means to go beyond. You're going beyond field of relativity, duality, experiencing oneness. Pure, unbounded, infinite consciousness. This consciousness has qualities: infinite creativity, intelligence, energy, love, power, and bliss. Dynamic peace. Always been there, never had a beginning, it is and it will be forever. Unbounded, infinite, eternal, immutable, immortal consciousness, fullness. Any human being can experience this easily and effortlessly with transcendental meditation. Transcendental meditation is just a vehicle to get you here. When you experience this level, you enliven it. and it grows in the individual. All positive, light of unity, all positive. You experience this level and you enliven it, and this ball of consciousness that you thought was just going to stay the same for the rest of your life starts expanding, and these qualities expand.
Pure consciousness, guys. How many of y'all actually meditate or actually try to reach that pure consciousness state? Let me know in the comment section. And if you do, and if you ever have reached that state, let us know what helped you reach that state, because a lot of people will meditate and they say that, they get distracted, they can't really focus too much, on anything, even though you're supposed to let go and not focus on anything. But yeah, it's like, let us know. I know some things will be able to help other people out.
If you think that the world is against you, then it will be. If you think everything is a conspiracy to oppress you and life is a struggle and nobody cares about you, then guess what? The universe will make sure that your reality reflects that. If you think that a mystery god in the sky or a devil in the ground is punishing you, then the universe will make sure that you experience that. If you think that all men are trash or all women are hypergamous gold-digging whores, then guess what? You will attract men and women that validate your belief and perception. See, humans make the mistake of projecting their own insecurities and fears out into the world and believing that their narrow perspective on life is the total reality. Like, bro, just because you dated 10 men or 10 women and had a bad experience doesn't mean all men and women are bad. Just because a white person or a black person or an Asian does you wrong, that doesn't mean that all of them are racist. See, people create these false narratives in their mind, and they don't realize that their mind is so powerful that it'll create those experiences to confirm your beliefs. See, the way I think, I believe that the universe is rigged in my favor. The world is not against me. The world wants me to win. If I have to choose between optimism and pessimism, I'm choosing optimism every fucking time.
Watch this guy expose everything that's going on.
The system is rigged. It's controlled by very wealthy individuals and families throughout the country who control the government, who control the politicians. The politicians control the rulemaking and the lawmaking process. They pass laws that don't benefit you or me, that benefits the super powerful. The politicians control the unions control the Board of Education controls the learning curriculum. From your first grade to the end of your education, they don't teach you how to succeed, they don't teach you business, they don't teach you about budgeting, they don't teach you how to create wealth. They teach you how to be a good employee. They indoctrinate you and program you to get a job, work 30 years, and get a pension. They put everyone in the box. The average person in America is stuck in a box. The poor and middle class are stuck in a box because of what they were taught.
Oh, look at what happened to this guy after he posted this video. Just trust me, look at what happened and tell me that isn't a coincidence.
We're talking about how Uzi was satanic.
Bro, why they ain't show us what happened to the guy? Guys, do y'all know that story with that guy? I don't know. What happened to him? Not sure. Let us know in the comments.
The whole theory about the I just want to rock.
Yeah.
I just want to rock. Body out of ya. Shorty got that body out of ya.
I obviously noticed the cover. The cover, if you notice in the back,
it's like hell.
There's a portal and there's people falling into it. When he got interviewed, you know what he said? He said, "Oh yeah, it's hypnosis."
Body out of ya. It's in my brain. Do you know that? It's living rent free. I can't get it out. You did that.
Yeah, it's hypnosis.
He ain't lying either.
Damn, if you see the cover and what he did in the music video,
Yeah.
he got all these people surrounding his car, just like the album cover. Guess what he did?
He put them in a trance.
This
Put him in a trance.
This shit isn't actually. This shit, you're dancing with the devil, fam. That's
Ding.
fun. But I do this shit all the time. But I don't follow. You feel me?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and try to justify it now. You just said everybody dancing with the devil, but you do it all the time. But I don't do it like them.
See, that's the problem, right? Is because when we enjoy things too,
Yeah, all the kids doing a little rock
He's
dance.
37 rapping about his 20-year-old girlfriend's doing him wrong. Already is, TK. LeBron, too.
You got the lawsuit pending.
I don't know if Bron's done any, like, weird shit, but I'm convinced Bron's killed a couple niggas before. I wouldn't be surprised Bron got a couple niggas smoked. I ain't gonna lie. That one nigga was fucking his mama. The nigga ended up a crackhead.
Ooh, that's very true.
I'm just saying, don't play with Bron Reach.
Very true.
Nigga ended up an addict, bro. That nigga hasn't been the same since, bro. Chill on Bron before he get Rich Paul on you. Hey, right? They gonna be at my door.
NASA started exploring the deep sea in 1958, but stopped in 1978. After that, they started working on getting us off the planet. NASA detonated a massive explosion in the ocean in 2021. What did they discover? What are they so afraid of?
Godzilla.
What's going here?
Terminator is the prequel to, or the beginning of The Matrix. Sarah Connor is actually Neo's mother. What? So JC, John Connor's Jesus Christ, grows up to be Neo, one and the same in The Matrix. The Matrix is in the future. The Terminator is the past. It's time travel. Past, present, and future time travel. It's the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. So the machines, the Terminator machines, hear that a child is going to be born that's going to terminate them in the future when they oppress man.
Come on, big troll alert. Come on, leave them comments.
See, it's a man versus the machine. It's God's children versus man's children, which was technology.
So man versus nature.
Exactly. So the Terminator has to time travel to the past because they know it's Sarah Connor. And they have to kill her, terminate her, so she won't have the baby. And Kyle Reese, he comes from the future to protect her, and he inadvertently gets her pregnant. And he has to go back to the future. And so it's the Immaculate Conception, because now she's pregnant, and she fell in love with a man, but did it really happen? Did he exist? And then this child, when you see the three Terminators, the boy, and then the man-child, subconsciously, he doesn't know why the Terminator is trying to kill him until he's hidden out in the city, in the Matrix, the future. When he reaches 30 years of age, the rebellion, the Reloaded, revolution starts. And the rebels come and they find him because they've been watching him all along. That's what the Guardians and the Sentinels are all about.
Sound like
And so they wake him up to his purpose. They take him to Morpheus to train him to fight the machines. They take him to the Oracle because of the prophecy. So this is the whole epic story. It's an epic.
Because this plays into why this sudden mental change on Facebook. Where is Facebook now a threat where they need to regulate them and shut them down?
Facebook is nothing but a database for the CIA.
Facts.
That's all it is. It has all of your family's pictures, all of your friends. It has all the information. They used it here in Vegas when they had that car accident. Remember when the Maserati right by the Cromwell? When that happened right there? Well, all they did was take camera footage from Caesars, Bally's, and, other casinos. And they went and they took this footage and they got the license plates. And then they saw that the guy did, California. He rented that Range Rover. And after they did that, they went to social network and they found his girlfriend on Twitter, so they found his picture, and then they went to LA because they knew they were from LA, put his picture on a $250,000 billboard and put a reward up for him for $25,000, and they got him within 2 weeks.
Come on.
All because of Facebook, y'all.
Within 2 weeks because of the technology.
So how should we... How do you advise people to share their image, their data?
There's not going to be any more privacy. Everything is camera down. Everything is caught on camera. And this is what it's going to be about in the future. Virtual reality that I'm explaining in The Matrix and Terminator. Everything is going to be, so now it's going to be so easy. You're not going to have any more paper passports. It's just going to be where you come into the airport, they're going to scan you, your body, retinal, fingerprints.
If you know, you know.
The whole 9 yards.
This is what clears about it.
That's right.
That's what
And this way, nobody has to alter paper and put a picture or a name on there because they have your bone structure, they have your eyes, they got your fingerprints. This is the database, and they match you up. You see what I'm saying? And you go through. So that way no terrorists can come through and pretend to be somebody or somebody that they're looking for that's the most wanted. You see what I'm saying? Because all of this technology is going to start ruling. It's intelligence is going to start ruling everything. Once the satellites come into play that I'm talking about, there's maybe another 5 to 10 years from now, they're really going to play a phenomenal part, because this is why Apple and Microsoft became the billion-dollar, trillion-dollar babies, is because IBM and Xerox didn't know what a mouse was. A mouse meaning they didn't know what the internet was going to be. You see what I'm talking about? They didn't want to move into that technology. The studios don't know what streaming is. They got pissed off because Netflix paid $50 million and got 3 or 4 Oscars for the movie Roma. But it was never shown in the movie theaters at all. It was watched.
And that's why Steven Spielberg and all of it. You know, when we come back, I'm going to have some of my crew to join you, my technical people, the superhero. We mentioned when you were coming on your lawsuits and the battles you've had to fight, and you've just won in Utah.
Yes.
But it's always a battle for you.
Well, the reason why it's always a battle for me is because the government refuses to protect my copyright. You know, I own the copyright, so all the derivative movies, both franchises I own, it was adjudicated in Utah September the 25th, 2014. So why am I still with a RICO case here in Nevada, which I just won, but they're still trying to fix it so they can continue to use the stolen money, which is untraceable, and it's all linked to Hillary Clinton's foundation and money laundering.
Do you consider yourself politically neutral?
I consider myself totally neutral. All I'm worried about is for the people. Because if the government doesn't protect my copyrights, he doesn't protect yours.
But the government is afraid of you. I'd be afraid of you.
Well, there's no need to be afraid of me because I only stand for principles.
But what you know and the knowledge you share and what you have insights to can be very dangerous to some people.
Yes, but my job is to come here and waken people. That's what the Matrix is about, to wake you up from the Matrix, to get you out of the illusions and the lies and the ignorance. So it's not dangerous for me because that's my job. That's what I came here to do. That's why I wrote The Matrix and Terminator, to wake people up so they can move on to greater, better things.
Yeah, but a lot of these movie houses and these studios and the Facebooks of the world don't want people to know what happens to them every day when they share the information.
But that's destroying their free will, and God doesn't want that.
But people want to be ignorant. They don't want to know that they're being exploited. It requires too much responsibility when they find out.
Well, that's what the blue pill and the red pill is about. The red pill is about the blood of the living beings. The black and the blue ink is the machines. But this is the humans' world. We are the winners. They are the losers. So people need to exert their free will regardless of what anybody wants.
So what are the unintended consequences of all this that we're talking about?
Their people's consciousness will shift and they will go on to create and do better things. They won't be in bondage. And this is the whole purpose of the Matrix and Terminator and the new work that's coming, Matrix 4. It's a Matrix 4 book is out. It's been selling for 9 years, since 2010, around the entire globe. People have to wake up and shift their consciousness so they can create, so they can build. Because you can't stay in the past. Everything must change, right?
One of the things in the 1 minute that we have left, if you don't remember anything else about the broadcast today, is this. You're not as free as you think you are. You're in bondage in more ways than you imagine, and it's a different kind of slavery. Very dangerous kind of slavery that the mind and how we conceit ourselves of people without any thoughts, any challenge, and we're so willing to surrender. Freedom comes with a price. It takes as much to maintain it as it did to establish it. It's not really free, and it's not for the faint of heart.
But man is always going to take that challenge because man wants to be free. Look, everybody loved the Matrix and Terminator because it woke them up to take that challenge.
Surrender. Freedom comes from slavery. Very dangerous kind of slavery that the mind and how we conceit ourselves of people without any thoughts, any challenge, and we're so willing to surrender. Freedom comes with a price. It takes as much to maintain it as it did to establish it. It's not really free, and it's not for the faint of heart.
But man is always going to take that challenge because man wants to be free. Look, everybody loved the Matrix and Terminator because it woke them up. They didn't even realize they were in the dream. They didn't realize they were in a simulation. They didn't realize they were in illusions. But now that they are awakened, they will fight.
Will you fight? Are you awakened? Are you ready to embrace your destiny? Because freedom comes from God, not from man. And the moment you realize that, you'll begin that journey of freedom. Thank you so much.
I want to say one thing. Like Morpheus said, I didn't tell you it was going to be easy.
But it will be fair if you fight the fight.
That's right.
You can equal the battlefield.
Yo, that was crazy. She was definitely talking that talk, y'all. I'm gonna have to get her books, you know, and read the books, you know, since they created those movies and those franchises off of her books. Her books gotta be good. But it is kind of creepy, you know, especially with these 15-minute smart cities that they're building up. And like you said, at Clear with the airports, how you use your fingerprints and your facial data just to get in. It's like they are truly tracking everything. And we are moving into a Terminator type era. And that is scary. Not gonna lie. But yeah, guys, these are some of the most creepy and bizarre TikToks that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bell on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.